Hey everyone, Brendan McCauley with Humanum Project here. It is good to be with you today. In this video, we're going to talk about something pretty deep. We're going to talk about inner healing. Oftentimes, when I go around giving talks on what it means to be human, the beauty, goodness of the human being, and the glory that we're made for, people are like, oh my gosh, like, wow, this is amazing. This is who I am. This is what I'm made for. But then it gets to the question, are we living that? And it's like, no. Like there's the fall. I'm wounded and broken, and there's a mess inside of my heart. We're all wounded. And it's tough at times. It's like, why am I not living in the true glory that I'm made for? It's because we're wounded, and we all need to go on the healing journey to slowly begin, with God's grace, to live in the truth of who we are, which sets us free. And so a couple years back, I went to the John Paul II Healing Center with Dr. Bob Schutz, Sister Miriam James Heidland, and it was a retreat on healing. And there's a couple things I learned. The first thing is Satan's tactics. He goes after our identity, and he whispers lies. So when we say commit sin, when we do something wrong, or when someone else hurts us, he whispers a lie. You're weak. You're not enough. Look at you. No one loves you. You're not wanted. These are lies. Think of the movie Lion King. Scar killed Mufasa, but what does Scar say to Simba? Look what you did. If it wasn't for you, your father would still be alive. He placed lies into him. This is who you are. What would your mom say about this? He even threw that out. And then Simba's like, well, what do I do then? It's like, run away and never return. That's what he does with us. And so I want to share with you a TV show, Seen. It's The Prince of Bel-Air, that talks about someone who was wounded, who was operating out of a lie, and how love and communion is what heals us in those deepest, painful parts of our heart. The scene depicts Will, who's Will Smith, Uncle Phil, and his father. So what do we know about Will? Will was abandoned when he was a kid, and his father left him. And then his father came back when he was a teen and began to promise things for him. We're going to go on vacations, like we're going to do this. And Will was out of the room, and Will's father went to Uncle Phil and said, hey, I got to actually leave. And Uncle Phil's like, what? And he's like, yeah, will you just tell him for me? He's like, I'm not going to do your dirty work for you. And he's like, fine, I'll just call him on the road. He's like, yeah, you do that. He's like, yeah, I'll do that. And so while he was about to walk out of the room, Will comes in and says, Dad. And his dad went over to him and says, Will, we're going to have to put our trip on hold. He's like, okay. He's like, you understand, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, it was great to see you, son. He's like, you too, Lou. And his father walked out of the room. And Uncle Phil said to Will, Will, it's all right to be angry. He's like, why should I be mad? At least he said goodbye this time. I wish I just didn't waste my money buying this stupid present for him. He's like, Will, if there was something that I could do for you. You don't need to do nothing, Uncle Phil. Ain't like I'm still 5 years old, Ain't like I'm going to be sitting up every night asking my mom, when's daddy coming home, Who needs him? He wasn't there to teach me how to shoot my first basket, but I learned, didn't I? Got pretty dang good at it too, didn't I? He's like, yeah, you did. He's like, I learned how to drive. I learned how to shave. I learned how to fight without him. I spent 14 great birthdays without him. He never even sent me a dang card. To hell with him. I don't need him then, and I do not need him now. He's like, you know what, Uncle Phil? I'm going to get a great job without him. I'm going to marry me a beautiful wife and have me a whole bunch of kids. I'm going to be a better father than he ever was, because I sure as heck don't need him for that. There ain't a dang thing he could ever teach me about how to love my kids. And Uncle Phil is just looking at him. And then Will says, how come he doesn't want me, man? And he breaks down. And Uncle Phil embraces him. Okay. What's happening here? There was the lie that he named, I'm not wanted. It's a lie. And he's met with love and communion that reaffirms his deepest identity, that he is wanted, that he's enough. and that his earthly father doesn't give him his deepest identity that only God the Father can give us. And so what do we do when we're operating out of lies? Well, we have to have the courage to allow God, family, friends, those that we can trust to love us there. But then we also have to break the lie in Jesus' name. How do you do that? Let's take this scene, for example, the lie, I'm not wanted. In Jesus' name, I renounce the lie that I'm not wanted. And I announce the truth in Jesus' name that I'm wanted, that I am good. We have to do that over and over and over again. That is a daily prayer that we need to do. So we need to renounce the lie and announce the truth. We need to allow love and communion to come in. And thirdly, we need to forgive those that have hurt us, because unforgiveness is like gas on a fire that just makes our bitterness and resentment burn more. So we need to renounce the lie and announce the truth. We need to allow love and communion to enter our hearts, and we need to forgive those that have hurt us. And maybe we need to forgive ourselves. When Dr. Bob Schuchts, Sister Miriam taught me this, I was like, this is it. This is the road, the journey to redemption and healing. This is a daily prayer that we can do when someone hurts you or when you even hurt yourself. You can enter into that prayer by renouncing the lie. This is the road to inner healing. This is the road to redemption. And so if you've enjoyed this video, I invite you to subscribe to our channel. We'll be putting out more content here soon. Feel free to share it with any of your family or friends and leave a comment. We'd love to hear your thoughts. God bless.